we've got to talk to you about leaving the White House. It's come to my attention over the last few months that there's been some pretty, in my opinion, significant integrity issues related to you and use of government vehicles and some other issues. This would be a pretty high level of accountability, meaning a court-martial. And we're not suggesting any legal action here. Just stay with me. Just stay with me. Yeah. But I think it's important to understand that if we make this a friendly departure, we can all be, you can look at your time here in the White House as a year of service to the nation, and then you can go on without any type of difficulty in the future relative to your reputation.
Can I ask you a couple of questions? Is the president aware of what's going on?
Let's not go down the road. This is a non-negotiable discussion.
I don't want to negotiate. I've never had a chance to talk to you, General Kelly.
Yeah,
so if this is my departure, I'd like to have at least an opportunity to understand.
We can talk another time. This has to do with some pretty serious integrity violations. So I'll let it go at that. So the staff and everyone on the staff works for me, not the president.
Omarosa, what's going on? I just saw on the news that you're thinking about leaving. What happened?
General Kelly came to me and said that you guys wanted me to leave.
No, nobody even told me about it. Nobody.
Wow.
They run a big operation, but I didn't know it. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
God damn it. I don't love you leaving at all.
Do you think this president is racist?
Absolutely not. I would never sit nor work for someone who I believe to be a racist.
Bye, Felicia.
Since she was fired in December, she's turned on President Trump, and now in her new book, she calls the president a racist, a bigot, and a misogynist.
Bye, Felicia.
Omarosa writes, Donald and I had a symbiotic relationship, as I've said. I gave him ratings, and he gave me, a woman of color, opportunities.
Bye, Felicia.
Donald Trump is a con.
Bye, Felicia.
I had a blind spot where it came to Donald Trump. I wanted to see the best in him. And obviously, I felt miserably.
After Charlottesville, you didn't resign.
Bye, Felicia.
You didn't leave after he had that unfortunate call with the widow of the dead soldier.
Bye, Felicia.
You didn't leave after he called kneeling NFL players SOBs.
Bye, Felicia.
You're now identifying him as a racist after you got your book deal.
Bye, Felicia.
There's a lot of very corrupt things that are happening in the White House, and I am going to blow the whistle on a lot of this.
She said she has a story to tell, and I'm sure she'll be selling that story.
We'll see.
Well, yeah, she will. Bye, Felicia.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wake Up Report. Sorry, Robin Roberts. You can say bye, Felicia, all you want. Felicia is back. Omarosa will never, ever go away. What will it take to make this woman go away? This woman is like a gnat buzzing around your ear. It comes back no matter how many times you swipe it away. This woman is like a cockroach. If a nuclear bomb were to hit Washington, D.C. and just wipe out D.C. and the rest of the country, Omarosa would come back. And now Omarosa is indeed back with a book that is scheduled to be released on Tuesday. A book that, among other things, outlines Donald Trump's racism while on the Apprentice. According to Omarosa, she heard Donald Trump call people the N-word, call blacks the N-word. There's also the recently released audio of her being fired by General John Kelly. Is this basically just disgruntled employees striking back and lashing out at her former employer? I think it is. Omarosa has been Donald Trump's lapdog for almost 20 years, starting with The Apprentice. And when Donald Trump became president, she thought that she had in fact made it. She thought that she was untouchable. She thought she could do whatever she wanted. She spent years just backing Donald Trump and supporting Donald Trump, and throughout his election, she told all of us we were going to bow down to the mighty Donald Trump. And that first year at the White House was just chaos. The inmates were running the asylum. She was one of the inmates, cavorting people in and out of the White House, using it as a tourist stop for her wedding. And Trump got a hold of General John Kelly to kind of straighten things out, and that's exactly what he did. And one of the first orders of the day was to get rid of Omarosa. And as you heard in the tape, he brought her in to some office somewhere. He sat her down. He told her what was up. He told her she was fired. There's no room for discussion on this. Let's do it so it doesn't affect you in a negative way down the road. Now, Omarosa is claiming that, number one, he threatened her because it felt like a threat when he was talking to her. And number two, that the audio recording that she recorded while they were having that meeting is protected under the Whistleblower Protection Act. And sorry, Omarosa, it really don't qualify. You didn't whistleblow on anything. The Whistleblower Protection Act protects people when they see things being done wrong in the workplace. And they bring those wrongdoings like, code violations or employee mistreatment, just, stuff like that. You bring it to the attention of your boss and you get fired as a result of doing the right thing. Well, you can go back and you can sue that company or that person under the Whistleblower Protection Act. And that's not what happened with you. What happened with you was your behavior during your short term in the White House was responsible for you getting booted out. And now Donald Trump claims he didn't know about it. I find that hard to believe because you hired this guy. You put him in charge. He told you probably what the problem was and how he was going to take care of it. So I find it hard to believe that he didn't know. But he told Omarosa, well, I didn't know that he was going to fire you. But she still did not have access to him. So even if he didn't know, he could have said, well, look, I didn't know about it, but hey, come on to the Oval Office. We'll sit down and we'll talk about it. That's not what happened. It was end of story. And basically he gave Kim Kardashian more clout than he gave Omarosa, who has been with him for all these years. Very rarely do I agree with anything that Kellyanne Conway says, but she's calling it right on this one. Omarosa has contradicted herself more than once. She had, in an NPR interview, she claims to have heard Donald Trump use the N-word while she was on The Apprentice. And then in another interview, she says, well, she heard somebody who knows of the audio that exists of him using the N-word. She makes all of these allegations that she cannot prove. She either says she heard somebody say them or she heard through somebody, like I heard it through the grapevine kind of thing. And she can't prove any of it. So you would think that if you're going to make all of these allegations, you're going to drop all of these bombs about Donald Trump now. Never mind the fact that when, you were on The Apprentice, it didn't bother you then. You're going to do it now, but you can't prove anything. So really what it amounts to is just a book of gossip, or what it's going to amount to is a book of gossip, a book of hearsay, a book that will, she got 7 figures for this book. So whoever publishes it is going to assume that they're going to get their money back off of this thing. But if the term fake news applies to anything, it's probably going to apply to this book. And Ms. Conway brings up a very interesting point that nobody has addressed, at least I haven't heard of, and is that why didn't you say something way back during The Apprentice? If you heard Donald Trump use the N-word in a derogatory, I was going to say in a derogatory way. These days you can't tell. But if you heard him use the word in a derogatory way, why did you stick with him all of this time? That doesn't make sense. That means that you either knew he had racist tendencies or he was a racist, but you stayed with him all this time up until John Kelly got rid of you. And now that you're out of a job, we're supposed to believe that you come to this revelation that after all of these years with Donald Trump, that all of a sudden he's a racist. So really what it amounts to is that for all of these years that you were with Donald Trump and you knew he was a racist or he had racist tendencies, you stayed with him because you were getting something out of it. So you don't care about black people. You don't care about doing the right thing. You lost your meal ticket and you're pissed off about it. So now you're lashing out by way of this book. So the story really is not about Donald Trump using the N-word. It's not about racism in the White House. It is about black people who use their own people, who get over on their own people, who sell out their own people. And then when the person that you sell us out to sells you out, you got nowhere to go. So all of a sudden, you want to get back on the black thing. You want to get back on the black power thing. You want to get back on the Me Too thing, or whatever it is that you want to get on, to get back in the graces of the black community, because you got nowhere else to go. You lost your ghetto pass, and now you're trying to get it back. Now, she claims to have more audio recordings, which I'm assuming she's going to leak over the course of her book tour. And, mainstream media is eating it up instead of demanding that she produce something now that shows that Donald Trump is using the N-word or whatever derogatory language. She even claims that Trump was using derogatory language against Kellyanne Conway's husband. Because he's half Filipino, he said some derogatory things about him and Filipino people. But she's yet to produce any of this stuff. It is a problem, according to the White House, though, because they are looking at legal means, whatever legal means that they come up with to shut her up and to keep her from leaking any more audio tapes if she has them. And although they have said that recording in the, I think it was a Situation Room they were in, recording in the White House, I guess, period, violates security standards and security measures. There really isn't any fixed rule that says you cannot record anything. So don't know, how much of a legal stranglehold they're going to put on her, and if she's going to obey it anyway. So Trump did the same thing with Stormy Daniels, and we're going to sue if you come public with your story, and she did it, and it is what it is. I'm gonna say this about this N-word revelation. Oh my God, Donald Trump said the N-word. Black folks, you done lost that war with the N-word, and your own people have defeated you with that word. So don't come out with Donald Trump using the N-word and everybody's supposed to be so shocked. The media is supposed to be so shocked when the same media props up Jay-Z, the king of nigger rap, and all these other rappers that toss that word around every single day that have made careers and fortunes off of it. And you all pat them on the back and show up at the BET Awards and you support the music and watch the music videos, and they're calling you niggers every day. So Donald Trump using the word, it gets to the point where you can't even be offended by it, because black people are using it on themselves more so than anybody else. And when Donald Trump and his father got sued for discrimination back in the day for writing C for colored on applications so they would know who to deny housing to, at least they didn't write N on it. Omarosa's new book, in my opinion, is a load of BS. You're going to get a lot of hearsay and what ifs, and I heard it through the grapevine, and he said, she said, but she is not going to pinpoint anything on anybody specific. If you have audio of Donald Trump calling people niggers, release the audio so we can hear it. And even if he said the word nigger, Donald Trump's team, they're going to spin it just like they did the I said was when I should have said wasn't, or I said wasn't when I should have said was. He'll do the same thing with this. I said the word nigga, N-I-G-G-A. I did not say N-I-G-G-E-R. I said N-I-G-G-A, my niggas, so it's perfectly acceptable. And you dumb niggas will probably believe it too. Omarosa's new book, a load of crap. But we'll find out how many copies a load of crap will sell. This is KTM and the Wake Up Report saying think a little bit. It will do wonders for you.